Investing might be one of the most critical actions to avoid failure in the future. With inflation sky high, saving accounts are killing your money, so I'm going to help you get started. Okay, if you guys are new to investing and wanting to get started, watch this video to the full because I'll be breaking down 4 of the best investment apps in the UK which can get you started for your needs as a beginner. For this video, I've tried out multiple platforms to try and understand and discover the best investment app for beginners, and I think I found the perfect one. When choosing an investment app, I came up with 4 attributes which I think are critical to choosing the perfect investment app as a beginner. See, first is about the security of the app. We need to see that our money is in a safe environment, especially if we consider increasing our amounts of money in the future. Now, second is down to user interface. It has to be beginner friendly. The design has to be very easy to navigate, which is vital to using as a beginner. Now, third is fees. We don't want to be paying too much as we only are just getting started, and maybe we want something a little bit easier to use, and we want the lowest fees available, which helps with our money, especially if we're only putting in maybe £200 to £500 a month to get started. Now, fourth and finally, we have to consider what the app actually offers, whether this is ISAs, general investment accounts, or even copy trading features. These will all be inside the investment apps that we're looking for. So let's jump into my first app now that we're going to be looking at, and that's FreeTrade. Now, looking at FreeTrade, they offer a stocks and shares ISA, and this is the best way for UK investors to invest tax-free and buy individual stocks and shares. As you can see, they do offer the ISA account at £4.99 per month, but it is a commission free, which essentially means that when you buy and sell stocks, you don't get incurred a fee every time you do this, like some other platforms. So if we take a look at why exactly they actually offer the ISA, they offer commission-free investing, like I just spoke about. Now, the second thing is support. They offer support in terms of how to buy and sell, and they make this very easy using that stock interface. Now, also they offer over 6,000 stocks, including ETFs. Now, I won't go into too much detail in terms of what an ETF is, but it is an exchange traded fund, and it's basically like buying a stocks and shares basket of goods in terms of what you actually own. Now, the other thing is low fixed cost. They offer low fixed cost monthly fees, as we know, as little as £5.99 here per month for the standard plan. However, they do have other plans. As we can see, they have the basic package, which is free, but this does not include the ISA. Then if we take a look at the standard package, this is something where you actually do get the ISA, but you get limited to certain stocks. And then if we take a look at the plus, you can see that's at £10 a month. So you can see there's a progression fee in terms of exactly what you get. Now, with the plus, you do actually get the SIP, and you get 3% interest on money uninvested up to £4,000 more, which is something that most people can't get. The other thing, if you take a look at the £5.99 plan, you can see it's actually 1% on your money up to £2,000. So you can see that the £11 or £12 a month may be a more viable option. Okay, so if we're taking a look at the interface of the stocks and shares ISA, we're obviously looking for a user-friendly platform for a beginner, which helps you guys navigate things so much faster. So if we take a look here, you can see this will be your portfolio screen where you'll be able to view all your investments and track the performance of your portfolio. This very nice and aesthetically pleasing, in my personal opinion, very easy to navigate, and something that is definitely going to help you guys as a beginner. Now, the second part is more the settings part. This will have all your details, exactly your personal account information, and you can also see what plan you're using, whether you're using the ISA or whether you've got the plus version, and exactly what you're paying for. They do also offer an in-app purchase, whether you want to upgrade your plan. So it's very easy to upgrade if you suddenly want to invest more money at some point, and then you want to expand further into the platform. Let's talk about platform security, something that as a beginner investor, we want to ensure that we are investing our money in the right place, and we don't want to obviously lose anything. So if we take a look at their crowdfunding, we can see that they have over 19,000 crowd investors in FreeTrade, showing that there is actually a lot of people behind FreeTrade wanting this company to succeed. So they're also backed by different global institutions such as Molten, Left Lane, Cateran, and then Phoenix. And they have over 1.4 billion in client assets, 4.4 million in record revenue for Q1 2023, and then 1.4 million in terms of lifetime registered users. 87,000 subscribers, which is great. And they also have 19,000 obviously backed from their crowdfunding investor. However, there is certain things to why they're raising. They're obviously wanting to potentially IPO at some point, but they still need to increase FreeTrade's exposure. So if we want to actually look at, are they profitable? Well, this is going to be the biggest question. So if we move over to are they profitable? Well, you can see here that FreeTrade actually lost 3.3 million in the first 3 months of the year on revenues of 4.7 million. And this is most likely because they're wanting to reinvest back into the business, gain new subscribers, and it is relatively a growth company. However, when you're putting money in an unprofitable company, there is massive risk for you guys. So this is something that I wouldn't personally consider just because it certainly is something that I see as a red flag for FreeTrade. However, I do think FreeTrade has a great idea, but until it's profitable, I certainly wouldn't want to be investing my money there. I think their user interface is fantastic. They do offer some really good factors in terms of the ISAs. However, they do come at a price. The commission-free trading is great, but I think there's better platforms. And this leads on nicely to my second platform, which is Trading 212. So jumping right in, let's take a look at the difference between Trading 212, FreeTrade, Hargreaves Lansdown, and then Interactive Investors. I think the biggest thing here you can see is that they're commission free, just like FreeTrade example. But then you compare it to Hargreaves Lansdown, they're offering £5 to £6 per trade to £12 per trade. And this goes to the same with Interactive Investors. £4 a trade to almost £6 per trade, which adds up if you're making lots of trades over a period of time. And when you're working with smaller money, this is exactly what you want to avoid. Now, the next thing is account fees. Trading 212 offers no account fees, which is just fantastic, where obviously FreeTrade offer that standard and then that plus model, which is a subscription plan, of course. Then you look at Hargreaves Lansdown, they actually offer on your per share value of 0.45% per annum, which is terrible in my personal opinion. You don't want to be using this because this only eats in to your gains in the future. And then you can see here, Interactive Investors again offer a £5 to £20 monthly subscription plan, depending on their plus version, all the way up to their higher versions in terms of their subscription fees. Now, again, when it comes to what Trading 212 offer, they offer free dividend reinvestment plans where obviously the others create 1% per trade. And then you have also £1 per trade in terms of Interactive Investors. Now, the next thing is foreign exchange fees. They have the lowest of all four platforms here at 0.15%, comparing it to almost 1% at the highs of FreeTrade, 1% Hargreaves Lansdown, and then actually 1.5% of Interactive Investors. Then you look at fractional shares. As a beginner, fractional shares allows you to buy companies which may be too expensive. For example, if Amazon is trading at $150, but you don't have $150, let's say you have $75, you can buy half a share in Trading 212 of Amazon stock. You can do this in FreeTrade, Hargreaves Lansdown, or Interactive Investors. When it comes to bank deposits, they do all offer free, which is great. However, the only drawback in Trading 212 is the card deposit of 0.7, but it is free of up to $2,000 or £2,000 cumulatively. Now, the next thing is withdrawals. Of course, this is free throughout, which is nothing new in terms of what Trading 212 offers. Now, just like FreeTrade, the user interface is very nice to see. You can see the portfolio here is very nicely laid out, and then you have your stocks underneath and you have your different types of stocks that you can click on. Now, the other thing to consider with Trading 212 is they do have a demo account. So you can play around as a beginner and you can just play around with different stocks, how you buy and sell different stocks. And it's very easy to use this platform, in my opinion. The deposit and also the withdrawal is very quickly. And as a platform itself, I think this might be the best version for a beginner, in my personal opinion. I personally use Trading 212 because it offers free commission. As a beginner, it's fantastic to use. And I think the navigation system for Trading 212 is the best, in my opinion. Now, they do offer ISAs, and then they do also offer different things such as CFD trading as another alternative. However, this is something as a beginner you want to avoid. You just want to stick with either the ISA or the general investment account. Now we're talking about security of Trading 212. Very vital as a beginner, as we know. And the biggest thing is Trading 212 profitable? Well, they've been around for 20 years, and every single year they have been profitable, which you can see in this graphic here, which is just fantastic. It's a secure platform, and because it's profitable, we don't need to worry about this business potentially going under. They have massive backing, just like FreeTrade, but they're more established. And this is something exactly where I feel like my money is safe, which is why I use this app personally. Now, the next app I'm going to be looking at is Etoro. It's a very interesting app because of one feature in particular, and that's the copy trade function. You're able to use experienced investors, understand what stocks and shares they're buying, as they're being fully transparent, and you're able to copy each of the trades so you can actually join the journey with individual investors that are experts in their particular field. So there are a couple features which makes eToro stand out to other investment apps like FreeTrade or Trading 212 as an example. And the copy trading feature is something which I think eToro is the best at, in my opinion. And why would you want to copy a top performing trader? Well, they make it very user friendly for a beginner. They allow you to start copying at any point, and you can remove funds or add funds at any point. The other thing, they make it automatic. So you can just put in £200 a month, and that will automatically get divided out to the particular allocation that the copy trader that you're actually wanting to look at. Now, the next thing is you can invest with invested traders. These guys understand the assets, and they will buy the assets for themselves, and then you obviously copy within those trades itself. Now, copying is free, which is a really good function of eToro, as you don't incur any additional charges for using that copy trading feature. It also helps save time, and I know as a beginner, time to beginners is very valuable. You don't want to be researching individual stocks all the time, but you want to get market performance, and this is where this function comes in very nicely. Now, the other thing is obviously you're leveraging off the expertise knowledge, and this is something that will only benefit your knowledge as well. They'll break down each individual stock, exactly why they're buying or selling, and you guys can decide whether or not to invest with that particular experience or someone else that you're wanting to look at. So if we now take a look at the platform, you can see this is an example of an experienced investor in which you can copy from. They have a copy function thing at the side here, which allows you to automatically invest your money. You can see the allocation is divided up into, in this case, 17 stocks, and he breaks down all the different things in terms of their overview section. He basically shows all the different stocks that he's looking, updates every few days, just saying exactly why the stock is up or down and what he's doing with his allocation amount. You can check out his stats, but per different years that he's done, and you can see that, okay, this year he's up almost 12%, but last year he was down 28%, but the previous year he was up 26%. And then you can work out which investor you want to follow. So is eToro a secure platform? Well, from what I can see, it is. They have a trust score of 90 out of 99, and I've seen that this business has been around for a long while. Now, if you're a beginner investor, they do offer alternative assets choices as well. You can invest in things like Bitcoin or Ethereum if this is something that you are certainly interested in, for sure. Now, if you also want to just invest in an ISA account, there is that option, and also the general investment account you can invest in too. They have lots of different learning methods on eToro, which is something that can help a beginner if you're wanting to understand each parts about the market, and they offer this in abundance in eToro. Now, last but not least, let's talk about Vanguard. This might be the best beginner platform especially if you've heard of something called an index fund. This will be the best platform to invest in index funds. So jumping into Vanguard and the website, they're obviously a brokerage service which offers commission and fees depending on the different index funds and ETFs that you're actually looking at. Now, this is something that you automatically want to consider because this is something where you will be putting and paying that little bit extra. However, Vanguard is one of the most prestigious investment services around, and they do make it very easy and simple for beginners. Now, while there may be a lot of information on the page, they are extremely transparent in exactly what they're offering. Now, if you do want the lowest fees available, maybe you want to go for an ETF because this is going to be the best way to get the most for your money with the lowest fees available. Now, if you want to use brokers, they do offer brokers, but they obviously cost more in order to actually use. Now, the next thing is using mutual funds. You can invest in mutual funds, but there is certain fees which aren't shown exactly, but you can see here that they do have a 0.525 to 1% depending on the transaction fees and the funds itself. Now, if you want to maybe invest in something else, such as just individual stocks and shares, they do offer this too. If I scroll down here slightly, you can see that they do offer this too. And there are certain things which will incur fees depending on the trades itself too. So Vanguard does offer a very nice comparison table for us, and they can distinguish between an ETF and a mutual fund. Now, while they're very similar, there are a couple differences. The first being the intraday trading. ETFs offer this while mutual funds clearly don't. Now, the second thing is automatic investments. If you're wanting to put your paycheck in to a mutual fund, you can do this automatically. Whether or not with an ETF, you're actually unable to. However, if you prefer doing it manually and you're happy to do it manually, ETFs actually might be a better alternative to a mutual fund as they're lower in fees. The other thing is investment minimums. With an ETF, you have to invest as little as $1, while as a mutual fund, some funds mean that you have to invest from $1,000 up to $50,000 depending on the fund that you're looking to invest in. Now, the tax efficiency, ETFs are generally more tax efficient, while mutual funds are actually generally less. So clearly an ETF actually might be a better way to go if you want to maximize tax efficiency. Now, the other thing is obviously your management style, and this is something very different. Most ETFs are index funds, meaning that they're not actively managed by a portfolio manager, whereas a mutual fund is actively managed by certain individuals. And they will obviously try and eke out as much performance as possible. But if you're just trying to match the market, maybe an ETF is the best way for you to go. Now, truthfully, as a user experience, I don't feel like Vanguard is the most appealing in terms of beginner friendliness. There's a lot of information to actually consume here, but it is worthwhile if you're trying to take the investment game very seriously. And this is something that once you start, it makes it very easy to just invest every single month and buy consistently. However, they do make it very difficult for beginners, but this is just one thing to consider. It may not be an absolute red flag in terms of why you shouldn't use Vanguard. But you can see here they do offer lots of different investment types of information in terms of the ETFs. They have all different filters where you can see management if you want it active or index. And then you can also change it by asset classes, exactly what you're looking for, depending on your risk tolerance. Summarizing the four platforms in 60 seconds now, I personally use Trading 212 as it's got the lowest fees, and I think it's the best bang for your buck. I think it's a very secure platform, and it's one that I personally use as an individual stocks and shares holder. Now, if you like the copy function feature, Etoro will be a better version for you, and you can invest in alternative asset classes, and they've got some great learning features which you can use. Now, the other platform is Vanguard. If you're looking to invest in index funds and ETFs, it's going to be the best option for you. While it may not be the best user-friendly experience, it's something that has been a very prestigious and well-known investment platform for a long time now. Now, finally, FreeTrade. It does have slightly higher fees, but you still get a lot for your money. However, it may not be the most secure because of the profitability issue. However, this can change very quickly, and they do have big crowdfunding behind this, as an alternative to trading 212. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on your favorite platform. I'd love to hear exactly what you think about each individual platform that I've looked into today. Now, if you want to check out other videos, I'll leave a link in the top of the corner here, which you can check out other stocks that I'm looking into if you enjoy more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.